It's time for week 4 of the NFL predictions, and remember what I said last week, how I was going to get a positive record in week 3 and I was going to do well. Well, that was my worst week, I think, ever. I officially suck at predicting, but the good thing is I'm going to continue to do so, and you can't stop me because this is my channel. Week 4, Vikings and the Rams. I'm going to pick the LA Rams. They proved me wrong. They beat the Chargers. They're the best team in Los Angeles. And the Vikings... What happened to the Vikings? The Vikings just got demolished by the worst team in football. The Buffalo Bills at their own place. How does that happen? So, Rams over the Vikings. Jets and Jaguars. I'm going to pick the Jaguars. I got to pick... Sometimes I gotta pick favorites, and I like Darnold better than Blake Bortles, but the Jaguars team is so much better defensively, and they're gonna beat the Jets. Dolphins and the Patriots, and if you asked me before the season that we're getting a 3-0 Dolphins team versus a struggling 1-2 Patriots team, and I was gonna pick the Dolphins, which I am, I would have declared you crazy, but that's the state of the union right now. The Patriots are breaking apart, as it seems. They lost to the Lions, and Brady looked awful. Coach Belichick, frankly, looked disinterested, and I don't think this is going to go well. I think the Dolphins are feeling a real chance to win this division, and they're going to make a huge step toward that this week, and they're going to beat the Patriots. Eagles and the Titans. Titans, I don't see it. The Eagles are going to win it. Better team. Haven't done as good as expected so far, but they're still a better team, and Carson Wentz is back, and they're gonna beat the Titans. Texans at the Colts. The Texans kind of suck. We all thought that they were making a run for the playoffs and a run for the division, but they're 0-3, despite Deshaun Watson, despite J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney all being healthy and playing, and despite Tyrann Mathieu. And I don't see this ending. I think the Colts are just gonna win it. Didn't think that before the season, but the Texans have fallen down, and the Colts are going to take advantage of that. The Buffalo Bills and the Packers. I don't know what the Bills did there in Minnesota to do what they did. They went up like 27-0 on the Vikings in like 2 quarters, and I was watching the 49ers and the Chiefs game at the same time, and I was looking at the bottom of the screen where they show the game breaks from the scores from the other games. I was like, that can't be true. That has to be an animation error. And then I switched over to the other game, watched that too. On the side, I was like, how does that happen? And Josh Allen put out a clinic in Minnesota. I still don't trust the Bills to do it again and beat the Packers. I think that was maybe a fluke. I know Josh Allen is good, but I don't think he makes the worst team in the NFL and transforms them into one of the best teams. And Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers still, even though he wasn't himself against the Redskins and they lost. I'm picking the Packers over the Buffalo Bills. Lions and the Cowboys. Man, the Cowboys are bad. I don't know. There's no better way to say it, man. The Cowboys suck. Dak Prescott isn't that good. That guy is costing that team win after win, and their defense is mediocre. And the Lions, well, I don't have a choice other than to pick the Lions here. They beat the Patriots. Matt Stafford is looking up. Had one bad game versus the Jets in the beginning of the season, and since then he's been playing pretty well, and he's gotten better every time. So Lions over the Cowboys. Buccaneers and the Bears. Bears beat the Cardinals last week, which isn't exactly an art form, and I'm gonna pick the Buccaneers to beat the Chicago Bears. This is a 50-50 game, though, by the way. I'm not confident in this one at all. I'm just going to say that they are going to do it. I still believe in the Buccaneers, and they're going to beat the Bears. Bengals and the Falcons. Now, Bengals finally went down to the Panthers last week in a pretty good game. Cam Newton was just a better class than the Bengals there. I don't think they're going to make it against the Falcons. So Falcons had a hell of a game against the Saints, and they might as well have won it. I think Matt Ryan was the second quarterback in NFL history to throw for 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in a game and lose after Eli Manning. Both of which, by the way, against Drew Brees. Interesting fact there. And the Falcons are going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. They're playing at home. And they need to do that to keep up in that division, and they're gonna win this. Seahawks and the Cardinals in the NFC West. Give me the Seahawks. I mean, they look better than they have 2 weeks prior. Last week, they won it in a somewhat decent way, and the Cardinals are just bad, so the Seahawks are gonna win it. Browns and the Raiders. The Raiders are kind of awful, and the Browns aren't as bad as we thought they were. Now, Baker Mayfield he's going to be starting. He came in for Tyrod Taylor when he got hurt, and they brought in Baker Mayfield, and he played well. He absolutely played well. He seemed more ready than I thought he was going to be, and he managed to beat the Jets. He caught a touchdown pass. They ran a Philly special on the Jets. It was interesting to see, and Baker Mayfield caught a touchdown. He did a similar play in college as well. When he was with Oklahoma, he also caught a touchdown pass on a similar play. I'm going to pick the Browns to beat the Oakland Raiders. I think they're better this season. They seem more prepared, which is weird to see the Browns more prepared for a win than anyone else, but the Raiders are disorganized right now. Saints and the Giants. The Saints, I mean, they got Drew Brees, who's one of the greatest. They got Alvin Kamara, who in my opinion is a top 3 running back in the league, and I don't see why the Saints wouldn't win this. The Giants still have problems, still horrible offensive line. Saquon Barkley is good. He's what they thought that he was gonna be. Even though they didn't pick Sam Darnold, I think they have a good running game from picking that, but he would still profit from having a better O-line, and the Giants defense is what it is. It's mediocre. The Saints are a playoff team. They're Super Bowl contender, and they're going to win. 49ers and the Chargers. Now, Chargers, because Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt against the Kansas City Chiefs, and when exactly that second when that happened, I knew the game was over. Because, well, the 49ers played horrible in the first game. That game was unwatchably bad in the first half. There was penalties everywhere, and they went down 35 to 10. Went into halftime, and they came out completely different. They started scoring, they started lighting it up, and they came close to 2 possessions. And then they were in red zone. They were knocking on the door with like 8 minutes to play, and then Garoppolo makes a horrible mistake and gets himself hurt and hurts his knee, and he goes out, and I know this game's over. Because without Garoppolo, they're not winning that, and it stayed exactly that way. And as it looks right now, Garoppolo is going to be hurt for a long time, and he's probably, like, CJ Beathard is good. We know he's good, but he's not on the same level. He can execute the offense, but he's not going to make those extra plays that Garoppolo has been making, and the Chargers have a really strong defense. I doubt that he's up for the challenge, and I don't see the Niners making the playoffs anymore this year. That was a bad gut punch. Chargers need to get some wins. They need to prove something, and they're going to take advantage of that, and they're going to beat the 49ers. Got the Ravens at the Steelers. I've got the Baltimore Ravens to win it. They still won that division, and I don't see why they wouldn't. The Bengals just lost, but that division is a lot more balanced than it used to be. It used to be that it was the Steelers, and then it was the Ravens fighting for a wild card. Or it was the Ravens and the Steelers going for a wild card for the past 10 years or so. I think the Bengals made the playoffs like once or twice since like 15 years ago, and the Browns they were the Browns. But this year they all seem to be a lot more level, and that's going to be an interesting division for the first time in a long time. I got the Ravens over the Steelers. They seem more ready. Steelers are completely falling apart. It looks like they have Le'Veon Bell in trouble. They have Antonio Brown in trouble. All their superstars. Ben is getting older. The Ravens are looking to take advantage of that and to go ahead in that division and beat the Steelers, and they're going to do so. And finally, the Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. I said it before, the Chiefs have the most explosive offense in this league. They showed that again last week. In the first half against the Niners, they were lighting it up. I think they went like 3 or 4 drives, scoring a touchdown on each and every one. And the second half, they completely stalled out. Of course, they kicked nothing but a field goal. They kind of took the foot off the pedal and got outplayed by the Niners, but it wasn't enough to win, partly due to that Garoppolo injury, which kind of stopped that comeback. I think they're still going to beat the Broncos, this week because, well, Pat Mahomes, first of all, is still going to be the best quarterback on the field. And that offense it's so powerful and so versatile. I don't think the Broncos are going to deal with that. And, the Broncos' strength is their pass rush. They got Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, and Derek Wolfe. They're gonna have good pass rush, sure. But the offensive line of the Chiefs is an underrated unit. And also they're going to utilize a lot of the screen plays, a lot of the quick passing plays, and a lot of the reverses and trickery to kind of negate that strength as much as they can and turn it into an advantage for themselves. If the Broncos are going to bring too much pressure and charge for the quarterback too much, they're gonna hit him with that quick passing game. So Chiefs, in my opinion, over the Broncos. Hope that this week's going to look better for me. My record is not looking good. It's not looking good at all right now, and this season seems to be really unpredictable, in my opinion, so far. We've had crazy upsets, and what are you going to do in a season where the Buccaneers come out week 1, beat the Saints, and then the Buffalo Bills at 0-3 walk into Minnesota and blow out the Vikings? And that happens throughout the entire league for some reason. So, really unpredictable season so far. We're done. After this week, we're done with a quarter of the season, and maybe I'll get a little bit of a recap or an update on how I'm doing in my prediction, which isn't good. And the league in general. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a premature MVP ranking or something like that. If you're interested in that, let me hear it in the comment section. But that's my predictions for week 4. Let me know yours in the comments. If you gravely disagree on something with me, then let me hear it. We can discuss that. And feel free to check out some of my other stuff. I did mention Jimmy Garoppolo. I had an analysis on him. Kind of sucks for the NFL and for the Niners that he got hurt. But if you want to watch that, go ahead and do that. And Sam Darnold as well. Just mentioned Alvin Kamara as well. I have a video on him which got released like just yesterday. So go ahead and check that out if you feel like it. And thank you for watching my prediction video. I'm going to see you in the next one.